In a world where dawn bled light upon broken kingdoms, where gods had turned silent, indeed the wind carried the scent of forgotten prayers. There walked a man named Lucien, the last ember of a dying prophecy. He carried the weight of 10,000 fallen hopes across his shoulders. Indeed, yet, in the soft chambers of his heart, there was one name that burned brighter than destiny itself, Myra. She was the song that once reminded him the world could be gentle, the reason he smiled when the world offered nothing but ruin. You can't save everyone, Lucien, she had told him once beneath the silver leaves of the elfin woods, her voice trembling between faith and fear. You don't need tea, he had whispered back, his eyes fixed on the horizon where war clouds gathered like bruises. Just saving you will be enough. But fate, cool and vast, has never been merciful to hearts that dream against its will. The kingdoms had fallen into ash, their thrones swallowed by shadow. Indeed, at the center of it all pulsed the heart of oblivion, a dark crystal born from humanity as despair, feeding on souls, consuming light. Lucien was chosen, or perhaps cursed, to face it, the one mortal destined to become the blade that severs eternity's sorrow. As he stood before the abyss, the wind howled his doubts back to him. Why me? He whispered to the void. Because you're still willing to ask, came the answer, though from where he couldn't tell, maybe the gods, maybe his own trembling soul. Myra's face haunted his thoughts, her smile a memory that refused to fade, even as darkness tried to erase him. He remembered her hand brushing his cheek before the last battle, the way her eyes held oceans of unspoken pleas. Come back, she had said. Promise me, Lucien. He had wanted to promise her eternity, but eternity, he had learned, was not a gift, it was a prison. Now, surrounded by the screams of dying stars and the shattering of worlds, Lucien drew his sword, its blade made of light that trembled like a heartbeat. If this is the price for peace, he breathed, then let my name fade with the dawn. He stepped forward, each movement tearing memories from his chest, and he plunged his blade into the heart. Time itself screamed. The heavens split open, and from the rupture poured a blinding storm of voices, the cries of those who had been lost, the whispers of those who had hoped. His body burned, his veins lit with divine fire. And yet through the agony, he heard her voice again, Myra, calling his name like a prayer wrapped in tears. Lucien, please, come back. Her voice cracked through the roaring silence as the world began to heal around his dying form. The shadows disintegrated, the forests breathed again, the rivers sang their first songs in centuries. But Lucien was no more longer, sir. His body dissolved into threads of life, carried away by the wind, scattering across the reborn skies. Somewhere, Myra fell to her knees on the battlefield, her fingers clutching the pendant he had left her, a shard of crystal glowing faintly with his essence. You kept your promise, she whispered through trembling lips. You saved us all. Indeed, as the dawn broke anew, painting the world with colors too pure for sorrow, she felt the wind brush against her cheek, warm, gentle, like the touch of someone who once held her close. Myra, came his fading whisper, soft as breath, strong as eternity. Live. For both of us. She smiled through her tears, knowing he was everywhere now, in every sunrise, in every heartbeat, in every flicker of hope the world would ever know. The legends would later tell of Lucien, the man who faced the end and became the light that remade creation. But to her, he was simply the boy who had once promised under the silver trees that love was worth dying for. And as the centuries passed, and the stars watched silently from their eternal thrones, the story of Lucien and Myra became the song of the world, a tale whispered by lovers and warriors alike, a reminder that even in this, love does not end. It merely changes form, becoming the light that guides those who remain. Somewhere beyond the veil of mortal sight, in a place untouched by time or sorrow, Lucien waited by the same silver trees, smiling softly as Myra's laughter echoed through eternity. The world at peace, his sacrifice complete, his heart finally free.